the fucking eyedropper. Damn it. Fuck. I don't think I have any more. There's the one. Well, we're not going to be rinsing those pills down. Damn it, man. That really sucks. Better than leave that there, dude. Simon, get the fuck out of the way. Shit. Shit, dude, something else I gotta re-fucking buy for the cats. I mean, I don't give a fuck right now if you eat it. You know what I mean? Stare at it if you want. I don't give a shit. They fucking hurt each other so they fucking stop hurting each other. You know what I mean? It is hurt each other once and for all and be fucking done with the dumb shit. One big chomper. Oh, that was it. Amazon, dude. Like these eyedroppers, I can get a set by 10 to 3 o'clock today, but it doesn't come with brushes. For 69.6 more, I can get a set that has 8 of them versus 4, and comes with 2 brushes, but I don't get it until tonight at 5 to 10. Or I can get 20 pieces for $10. But I don't get it till tomorrow. Thought I had one more thing I could use though. I'll trip it out. bad year, 23rd. You're rubbing your face on that way too hard. There it is. There it is, my buddy boy. Started at 8:25. 9:25, 10:25. You may go into the other room.
Got to get your appetite up, though. Boy, come on, what you doing? What you doing?
Someone threw up last night. He threw up a bunch of food. I think it was last night. I don't know. I didn't see it till this morning. So, hopefully, this medication will level them out. Next couple items, he'll start feeling a little better. If he's not feeling. Also, I had to clean a pair of shorts. Those basketball shorts, man. I had to wash them in the sink because one of these somehow busted in my pocket, and there was like chocolate, melted chocolate all in my pocket. It was on the vape. I had to wash some clothes already. I cannot believe I just let that thing fall off of here. That was an easy pop. You could hear it that time. I didn't have to cough. Hey, buddy, I'm sorry I get on that, right? I'm mad at myself, buddy. I'm mad at myself. I'm not mad at you. Ooh, you're a sweet boy. You're a sweet boy. Come here. Come here. Hi, booger. So say it. I could use those little plastic ones, disposable plastic ones. She's sweet baby. She's never gonna change, is she? Poor thing starving in there. have to go one, I guess. I gotta add shit. Gotta add extra shit to the cart to get it to me today, dude. So we got. Had to drop that, didn't we? What else to get? Maybe I'll just pay the. I'll just get some cat food with it. Boom, 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 boom. Alright. Gonna be alright. 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. It will be here. So only one dose we're going to go without flushing, buddy. Okay? Only one dosage.
We're gonna have a little afternoon dosage, and I'm gonna make sure you get it swallowed down, okay? Make sure you swallow it good, okay? We're gonna throw it on nice. Try to get it good.
Oh, you got cat litter dust all over you. I can feel it. Oh, it's because that's interesting. I can feel the cat litter dust on him more easily because I have clothes washing detergent film on my hands. It makes them more slippery when they get wet. Somehow it also makes me feel the litter more, the litter dust on him. It's interesting. Chrissy, good morning. Where's Bungle? Community garden, sweet. Sounds good. Have a great day. I don't think she's here anymore. Oh well. I tried. I didn't think anybody was here. This is my vlog. I'm vlogging. Alright, so we got another case. Basic piece, chicken and beef pate on the way, as well as a pack of 8 of these droppers now. 8 of them. Last time I had 4 and I spent $5. This time I spent $5.70 and I'm getting 8 droppers, different brand, same 1 milliliter glass droppers, and but they also include 2 little brushes to clean them out with too. But I couldn't get these at 10 to 3 like I could the other ones. I spent 70 cents more, but won't get them until possibly 10 o'clock tonight. So that will leave me with one pilling that I'll need to just make sure Simon swallows it. He threw him up yesterday once. Like I gave him the fluid. Next thing I knew, he goes, "Blah!" And then both of the little pills were sitting there in the puke. So I knew that I could give him 2 again. If there would have just been 1 pill there would have been a problem. He needed to throw both of them up. Otherwise, I wouldn't have, like, they're not marked. They look exactly the same. I wouldn't have known which one to give him. So he would have been 1 pill short. So yeah, it was right after I squirted the water too that he, so. Yeah, buddy, that was like $1.50, $2. It's okay though. Dude, he's gaining weight so fast. It's kind of unbelievable that he's back over 10 pounds again. Like I was kind of like, I was getting prepared, man, because he was losing weight so fast. I felt like that's pretty much a telltale sign. Once the cat starts losing weight and you can't get them to put on any, then it's just a matter of a couple of weeks or a month or something, probably. But he's back up to 10. He needs to be around 10, otherwise he's underweight and he feels extremely frail. This weight he's got now, besides his shoulders not having the muscle mass that they once had, like his ribs though were the main thing he was losing the fat covering his ribs. Now that's back there. It's such a trip, dude, how they're able to rebound with the right medication. How the humans are the same way. I don't know if we're like that more or less than cats, since they have 9 lives. It might be more like it, able to bounce back. I mean, for instance, I had a cat jump off a 4th-story balcony onto concrete in El Cajon. And we were about to give up looking for her until I heard her meowing underneath the car, and we took her to the vet, and they said that she had her lung was affected, somehow it popped her lung, but it wasn't anything too serious somehow. We just had to keep her in the bathroom for a little while so she wasn't running around. Crazy. I didn't get Sawyer up until 3:30 this morning. He still hadn't eaten this much food. He left all that. That's probably 20 grams. So he's eating about what Sweet Pea eats, which this is happening. Probably should weigh him again. I think it was 8-9 last time, right? Write it down. I didn't write it down. Simon was 9.4 pounds though. Just recently. can't tell what month that was. I think he was 9.4 pounds like 3 weeks ago. I don't remember. Oh, I wasn't asking. I'm sorry. I'm talking to myself. I really don't think anybody's ever here. I'm always talking to myself at this point when I'm talking. I'm not, yeah, sorry. That's what I do now. I don't hardly even look at chat anymore, especially in the mornings when I'm not at the desktop. It's just my vlog, dude, for the day to talk about what the fucking night is like. Hang out with myself. My vlogs that I'll probably never look back on, but maybe I'll have an illegitimate child one day and they'll be like, that's who my dad was? What the fuck? Oh my god. I'm doomed. That's my DNA. Mom, why? Why did you do it, Mom? How were you that horny? Did he drug you, Mom? Mom, look at his head, though. Look at my head. That's why my head's so big. I think you and I are the only ones that do chores around here, Miss Bongo. All these other deadbeats, what are they doing every day? Golden coin. Simon's got some puking going on though, like, so he's not really eating much food this morning like he would normally. So yeah, hopefully this stimulant, appetite stimulant hits him today. And we'll go from there. We'll go from there, I guess. And if he doesn't get his appetite back, then I'll know that it's something else maybe. But it has been 3 days already since I gave it to him, so that could be it. Oh, you just look at that color, boy. Would you just look at that color, boy? Oh, boy. That's 2 motherfucking peppers worth. Yeah, baby. That's what I'm talking about. What's going on, the Golden? What's going on? thing just needs more heat, I think. It just, there we go. Man, that tastes like shit with coffee. It tastes like, I don't even know, dude. It tastes like I'm eating a piece of firewood. Like, it tastes burnt. I think it's the like coffee. Coffee's got a really burnt flavor to it already. But for some reason, with this, I don't know if it's this specific terp profile strain here called DOAP, or DOPE, DOAP. If it's because of that, but it makes the coffee taste. Let me try to embrace it. Let me try to embrace it and see if I actually like it. Now I'm going to embrace the roast, the coffee. Now that I know what it's doing, I'm like, let me see if we can tap in. All right, tastes like it's a little faint. That already tastes kind of weird. All right. That's the trick. You gotta rinse it off your tongue. You gotta like rinse your mouth out with coffee. Really get your teeth stained. That's the trick. I think we should operate like that whenever like we get in fights and shit. We should just start doing that and really freak out all the kids. Because they won't know what the fuck the humans or the adults are doing. Like, why are the adults acting like cats? It'll be like our little secret, you know what I mean? They got the stupid 6'7" shit. All of a sudden, all the humans start fucking. Well, not the humans, the adults. Kids aren't humans; they're aliens until they're adults, right? Dude, I hate this goddamn sink, dude. I fucking hate it. It collects water right here without fucking fail, and I always fucking sit on it. Stupid. It's a stupid sink. Stupid lip right here. It sucks. I don't like it. From the 1920s or something. It's not a modern lip. It's a very unmodern lip. Flush is bothered. Flat is modern. $9.9 I see, Simon. Yeah, you're just showing me how you're losing weight. Right. That didn't, well, the 10 didn't last very long, did it? Days. Simon, no, go that way. Go that way. I'm doing this. Come rushing in here. Trying to get tired of the business. The throw up is in this room. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was just food. But still, I don't know. Maybe it's ate too fast. That's a really dark poop, though. It doesn't mean anything. That looks like diarrhea. Alright. What's this? Weird. Boy, who did that? Heck yeah.
It's a very cumulative measure of what someone's been exposed to their entire life. That's important because, lead, it has this impact, and it's going to do something in the brain by passing the blood-brain barrier. But all of our toxicological studies and the general scientific consensus shows that
I
those
fixed it.
effects are irreversible.
Hey guys, I fixed it.
So even though we're going to monitor it with blood, and maybe that will dissipate over time, those effects are going to linger, and they're going to stay there for the rest of your life.
Thanks for
So when
coming
we
back.
are able to
You
do
came
a
back.
cumulative measure of what someone's been exposed to, that is a more effective measure of what the potential health outcomes are associated with that level of exposure.
So how long would that exposure be detectable in the blood?
In the blood, it normally dissipates fairly quickly within a couple weeks. So the half-life is about 30 days. So that means you were exposed to something 30 days ago, and we measured it today, half of it would still be present in the blood. The equivalent then for bone lead would be 30 years. So if you were exposed to something 30 years ago,
Dude.
you measured it today.
They're trying to say that this dude had lead poisoning, and that's why he's a little retarded.
Like for the blood testing.
Don't give him the death penalty. He's a little retarded.
You can do it a couple different ways. They're really technical analytical chemistry techniques. So one is inductive coupled plasma mass spectrometry, which essentially you digest the blood and you send it through a plasma flame, and then it goes through this magnetic quadrupole system for mass to charge ratios, and it identifies a given isotope of lead. The other one, which is much more commonly used because it's much cheaper, is anodic stripping voltammetry, which is, they have these little kits. They call them lead care kits, and you can drop a piece of blood onto it and then stick it in. It'll give you a result in about 5 minutes. And those are typically used by health departments when they do your kids screening. That's what they use.
What about bone testing for that? How's that?
Bone testing for lead is always done using X-ray fluorescence. The alternative is we do a bone biopsy. But with the X-ray fluorescence, we can do it non-invasively. So what we do is we have some kind of X-ray source, and we put that on the shin bone. And what it's going to do is it's going to send little X-rays into the bone, and each of those is going to interact on an atom-by-atom basis and make those atoms give off signals that are specific to whatever elements they are. One of those elements happens to be lead, and we can go back and track it, so see how much lead is there, and then relate that to a concentration based off some normalizations we do for the particular physiology of a given person.
So you're talking about one of the elements. What are some of the other elements you might look for?
We can look at iron and zinc and some other toxic elements like mercury, arsenic, cadmium.
And when was that technology developed?
So we originally started doing these bone lead tests back in the 1970s. This technology has iterated over time, and we've gotten pretty good at it since the 1970s. We used these old devices with a radioisotope source, and we got this radioisotope source from a cyclotron that was, we had some sources in the U.S. originally, but right now the only cyclotron was based in Russia. We can't get that one anymore. But the device itself was about 200 pounds. It used liquid nitrogen cooling for a high purity uranium detector, and it took about 30 minutes to do a measurement.
And what about the portable XRF?
Yeah, so the current device we use is not 200 pounds. It's about 5 pounds. It looks a lot like a barcode scanner. And you can do the same kind of thing. You hold it up to the middle of the shin bone, and you're able to actually determine the elemental content of that bone. And so it's using an X-ray tube source rather than a radioisotope source.
That's neat.
And now instead of having that
Isn't that
huge
neat, y'all?
200 pounds of liquid nitrogen, we use
Isn't that
thermal
fucking
electric
neat,
cooling,
y'all?
which is much more compact.
Yeah, unless there's an objection, I'm just going to put that demonstrative up.
Any objection? No, you don't. Okay.
Okay. So you kind of described these pretty well already, but what are we looking at here?
This is the previous iteration of the X-ray fluorescence devices. So you can see the big liquid nitrogen dewar there. That's where all the liquid nitrogen is stored. The detector on the front, and then that little black dot is actually covering up the radioisotope source on the front of that. And these took about, again, 30-minute measurements. We used these pretty extensively in the 90s and early 2000s with a whole bunch of different cohort studies of lead.
And what's that?
So this is the portable XRF, the one that I use now to do film load measurements. And we've used it for the past 15 years or so to do that. It takes about 3 minutes to do the measurement rather than 30 minutes. Again, it has the X-ray tube source.
Why does this matter?
And it's battery operated, so I can take it with me and go in the field and do measurements.
He
that
was
way.
fucking had lead in his body, so he's retarded. So don't kill him.
That's a Thermo Fisher XL3T Gold D
Not his
Plus.
fault,
Now,
man.
is this commercially available?
This is a commercially available device. That
He has lead in his bones, that's why he's a pedo, bro.
But we've adapted it
I'm
with our
looking into this
research
shit.
so that we can use it for these types of settings. We basically changed the software slightly so that it's able to collect and stay stagnant in a particular mode when it gives us the readings we want to see for our bone lead measurements.
You said the software, so that's 5 pounds. This is controlled by software. This isn't you just pushing buttons or anything.
No, so the tablet you can see on the device actually has a firmware loaded up. So it has, like some kind of operating system. And you can go through and
Lead
make adjustments to the system through that.
So you're adjusting the settings. You're not building something from scratch.
Yeah,
Correct.
more
And how do you get the data
likely.
off of that?
So the data is stored locally on the device on a hard drive there, but you can also get it off the device using a USB cable and plugging it into a computer.
So when you take your measurement, you're able to look and see what the data is on the device?
You can see the data on the device. Yes, that's correct.
They're actually going to try to go off
are there
his
any
defense
studies
or
that
for
are
his
using
death
to
penalty.
show
Lead
that
exposure.
the portable XRF model that you used is accurate? Is that accurate to previous generations of XRF?
Oh yes. So we've done dozens of different studies looking at you know,
'Cause
human
it-
in
it
vivo
does
studies
make
where we
them-
actually looked
it could
at
make
this
them
portable
what
XRF
he
versus
is,
the one on the
actually.
previous slide with the
Damn it.
huge liquid nitrogen tank. We've done studies of cadavers where we were able to actually do the measurement and then section off a piece of bone that we would then analyze using a chemistry lab. We've done this in wildlife studies and any number of different studies where we've actually validated that this device is measuring what we think it should be measuring.
Okay. Let's dumb that one down for just a little bit.
Hole in one.
So if you're wanting to know if the new thing you're trying to measure, so you get a new plastic rule, and you want to know if it measures the same as your old wooden rule.
Yeah,
You're comparing with measurements you go with the wooden rule or what you get with the plastic rule, right?
correct.
So
Yep.
use the old generation and say what readings did it get, and then use the new generation and see what readings it gets, and they're the same. That's kind of what we're talking about.
Yep, that is effectively the exact thing we're doing with this.
So like somewhere in the world there's a rod that tells you what a meter actually length is, and every other meter stick in the world is supposed to match that.
Yes,
Okay. So, but you went further than that and you actually took cadavers, measured them with this, cut a piece of bone out of it for just in layman's terms,
yep,
dissolve that, and saw how much lead was in it, and see if that matched.
yes,
Okay. So that's how you determine that this particular model works.
yes.
Have there been studies completed in the United States and internationally to verify how this works? That it does work?
Yeah, so I've done
Interesting,
many
dude.
studies in the U.S. At various universities, Duke University, Harvard University, Boston University.
Dude, lead gasoline
Medical
almost
University
killed
of South
the
Carolina.
world.
I have a study actually at University of Texas,
Right.
Arlington. And
Lead in
yeah,
the paint
I
and
have
everything.
Like
Like,
dozens of studies there. On the international
crazy
stage,
how
I've done
dumb
measurements
we
in
were.
14 different countries,
what else are we dumb about?
including Iraq and India, China. I've taken this with me all over the world.
Now, I put some images up of kind of different places, and this kind of
Oh,
just demonstrating how you actually would use it. And we're talking about the tibia bone. Is that the bone we're talking about, the front of the leg?
Yes, yeah, that would be the shin bone, yeah.
So with the portable one, I guess in that middle photo,
Yeah, do
you
some
would
minutes. I'll be
portable one,
back.
hold
Be
it
alright.
for 3 minutes, and then the one in the background, you would actually have to be
You'd be like strapped to the chair
30
for 30 minutes.
okay.
And it was very difficult in that study because we were trying to measure kids and we watched one movie probably 300 times.
Trying to get them to hold still.
Yeah.
Okay. So does the FDA approve using the model of portable XRF on humans?
Yes.
And how is that done?
So it has a 510K clearance. Which
Now I
is
wanna know what
essentially
movie.
saying It's substantially equivalent to something of equal risk.
And is this use of the portable XRF for bone lead measurement recognized by the Center for Disease Control?
Yes. So the CDC, the Environmental Protection Agency, the World, or the the NIH, they all recognize this technology. And actually, I was a subject matter expert and a reviewer for the Integrated Science Assessment of Lead, which is this huge EPA 2,000-page document that goes through all of the potential impacts of lead in the body, but also, importantly, the exposure assessment. And my role was to look at the toxicology and also measurements of bone.
Now, are you aware of other institutions that are using the same model, XRF, to do bone lead measurement in humans?
Yes, so I've listed some off before, but Duke, Harvard, Boston University, Johns Hopkins is using it for humans. These are all just for humans too. Medical University, South Carolina, Purdue University, Indiana University. I'm forgetting probably a dozen, but
Can you give me an approximate number of how many bone lead measurements have been completed with your device?
with our device alone, probably more than 60,000 measurements have been completed on humans.
And did you examine Interhorn?
I did.
Did you review any records in preparation for that examination?
In preparation for the examination, I did not.
Okay. Have you reviewed any records that would reveal potential sources of lead exposure to Tanner?
I believe I saw something that he had some lead paint exposure potentially. And then I heard the testimony this morning about him eating coins. That's problematic for lead exposure.
Well, let's go ahead and skip to that. Tell me about how people get exposed to lead.
Normally, people get exposed to lead through a variety of routes. You can have inhalation, ingestion, or absorption. So primarily inhalation and ingestion being the principal sources of potential exposure. If you think back into the 90s when we had lead in gasoline, we were all exposed to a lot of inhalation sources of lead as everyone was driving cars around that was putting it in the air. I'd say nowadays most of the higher sources of lead are from lead paint or ingesting lead as a kid. And again, this kind of goes hand in hand with the toxicology of it. So when a younger kid gets exposed to an amount of lead, they actually have a greater percentage of having that actually taken up in the body. So the coins went through his body, and maybe some of it came off. Most of it hopefully went through the rest of his body. But that some of it that came off was taken up in the body very, very easily because of his age, versus an adult who would have probably half the amount would actually get taken up in the body. And that goes with a lot of things, the nutritional needs and whatnot, as a growing kid.
And remember when you conducted your exam on Tanner?
I don't remember the exact date. I think it was late last year.
Okay. And was that in the Tarrant County Jail?
There's the one right over here, right? Yeah, I think that was one of the same. I walked by it this morning. I was like, oh, okay. I remember where I am.
Okay. So I assume it was easier to use the portable like.
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
All right. So just walk us through what you did to use that scanner.
Okay, so the procedure is fairly straightforward. So with the device, we power it on. We have Tanner lift up his pant leg, revealing a shin. And what we do is you set up the software, make sure it's going to operate in the right mode, and you'll align that parallel to his shin bone. So the X-ray tube comes out at a slight angle, so being parallel allows us to go up the bone rather than across and potentially miss. Then when we have it placed correctly, we energize the device, and we essentially just stare at each other for 3 minutes while the device collects its data. Then we turn it off, and the data is collected and stored on the device.
And is that the correct protocol for doing that collection?
Yes, that's the same methodology we've used in every measurement for the past 15 years.
And what were the results of your
The test showed that he had been exposed to lead, and it had accumulated in his bone to a degree of an exact measure of 12.1 micrograms of lead per gram bone mineral content. So that unit is the way we've done bone lead measurements since the 1970s, essentially.
And can you kind of put that into context for us? What does that mean?
Yes, so bone lead, again, since it's giving us a cumulative measure of what someone's been exposed to, the important thing is to actually have age-matched control data. So we can look at someone else who's the same age and say, okay, well, this is what they would have had in their bone, because it accumulates and it doesn't go away. So we have a population study we typically use for this, which was based in Toronto. And in that study, the same age group as Mr. Horner would have had about 0.5 micrograms of lead per gram bone mineral. And to put that further into perspective, so his level was 24 times higher than that comparison group, first of all. Secondly, you can do a total body bone, or a total body lead measurement. So because we have this in units of bone mineral content, and everyone has a certain amount of bone mineral content over their body, we can actually determine how much total lead he had in his body. And so that comparison, he came back with about 33,000 micrograms of lead. Quite high, compared to his peers at closer to, I believe, 1,500 micrograms of lead.
Dude.
Where how many micrograms of lead it takes to potentially have an effect on someone?
So the CDC sets this level of blood lead that is the level of concern, and it's 3.5 micrograms per deciliter. We actually show that there is harm at lower levels, and the CDC, the Environmental Protection Agency, the World Health Organization, every scientific organization of merit has said that no level of lead is good for you. But if we do the same total body estimate with that 3.5 micrograms per deciliter, you get to about 250 micrograms of lead as the dose that can cause harm. And so 250 micrograms, very different than 33,650 micrograms.
So he's extra retarded? Why, how did he get a job delivering FedEx, man?
You would make a difference in age because you were talking about lead.
This
being
is
more
so retarded.
prevalent in society, and if you lived in the 70s, you'd have more exposure. So that way it's compared to the age group.
Yeah, that's essentially it. So if you're older, maybe you had the exposure from the 90s when you were inhaling the leaded gasoline that was being combusted. And so we have to account for that. So that's why we do that age comparison, because this is going to be reflective of what you were exposed to in your life. So you have to do an age match control.
And so over time, has that data kind of been updated? You said you were using the Toronto study. Is there a reason why you use that one?
The Toronto study is the most recent study with age match control data that we have. There's previous studies from the 90s, but that would be irrelevant because back in the 90s, we had so many other sources of lead exposure in our bodies that it wasn't going to, be as significant as a difference.
And so, to summarize, what is your opinion as a reasonable degree of scientific certainty?
So my opinion is that Mr. Horner experienced a significant amount of lead exposure that would have impacted his health, and particularly his neurological health.
Pass it over to him.
Cross-examination. Thank you, Ron.
Couple of questions about Dr. Sprague about this particular device that you're using. It's called a XL3T Gold. Is that correct?
Yes, it's great.
It's made by Thermo Fisher.
Yes.
Okay. And this particular device, and you said that you had some FDA. What was the number you used on the FDA?
510K.
And what do you have from Thermo Fisher giving you authority or direction in using this on humans?
So Thermo Fisher doesn't market the device for these types of tests. We actually do the modifications to the device to allow it to be able to be used on humans. So Thermo Fisher doesn't actually have the approvals needed to go through that process.
So the manufacturer of this device does not approve this device for use on humans, is that correct?
They only have it for the billions of dollars they make for mining and whatnot.
I'm going to ask you again. They don't approve it for use on humans.
They do not sell it for that purpose, no.
Now,
Oh,
we
shit.
talked about this. You indicated that your final opinion is that Mr. Horner had a significant lead exposure. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And you talked about the coins being an issue, right?
Yes.
And as part of your review for this case, can you point to anything in his medical records where he had some form of lead toxicity?
I'm not a doctor and I did not review his medical records.
Right, but you've made some opinions here about people getting significant exposures and the results of those exposures, have you not?
Yes.
Okay, and with regard to that, if somebody has lead toxicity at some point, that's something that's going to be needed to be treated by a doctor, right?
Not necessarily. So we have a couple treatments for high lead exposure. And primarily the one treatment we use often is called chelation treatment. And so this is really the only intervention we have when it comes to high levels of exposure. So chelation essentially would go into the blood and it would pull out any amount of metals, just general metals though, it's not just lead. So they only use it in cases where there's really high exposures. But again, that focuses primarily on the blood.
And you don't have anything that you can point to in Mr. Horner's history wherein he received any type of chelation treatment?
No, actually.
And you would have said that at some point he received I'm going to make a presumption here, you help me with this, a pretty high dose of lead at some point in his childhood, is that right?
Yes, he would have had to have had some exposure to lead during his childhood to accrue this amount of cumulative lead dose.
Now you said some exposure. Now I'm looking at your numbers here, and at 24 times higher, that doesn't seem to me to be just some exposure. That seems to be a pretty massive exposure.
Yes, that would be a pretty massive exposure.
And I know you're not a medical doctor, but a massive exposure like that, is that potentially lethal?
If it was all at once, it could be, but the lethality associated with blood lead levels varies quite a lot by individual. So I've reviewed some cases before where individuals have had blood lead levels of greater than 100 micrograms per deciliter, and they still haven't passed away yet.
So these numbers that we're talking about here, you said that his level is 12.1 micrograms, and what it should be is 0.5 micrograms. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
And that's where you get that 24 times or 2,400% number.
Yes.
So one of my questions to you is at that level, how is it that Mr. Horner is still walking around and not having some effect from that? How is that possible?
Well, I'm not claiming that he doesn't have any effect from it. He does have an effect from it.
But at that level, at that massive a level that we're talking about, how is he still alive?
So there's levels, there's scales to the amount of exposure needed. The dose is what's really dependent, and when the dose happened over time. Again, the lead is going to come into the body and it's going to have some irreversible impacts, but the lethality of it is really dependent on how fast that happens.
Okay. And you said something about you tested a bunch of people in Flint that had a water crisis.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Were they as high as Mr. Horner at 12.1, or were they lower as an average?
I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but on average they were lower.
So the people in Flint who drank from all that contaminated water for, I would assume 30, 40, 50 years, is that right? Potentially?
No. No, the Flint water crisis was they did have lead pipes, but they swapped the water source, and that led to a huge amount of leaching of lead into their water system.
Right, and these people were exposed to it for a fairly long period of time, were they not?
No, they just,
Not that long, not 30 years or 10 years or even 5 years in some cases.
But their levels were lower than Mr. Horner's.
Yes.
Now, what I'm trying to figure out here a little bit is you said something about,
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm not a scientist, I'm gonna have you help me here,
Yeah,
is that he had a total lead amount of 33,650 micrograms in his body.
yes,
I want to talk about that number.
okay.
You're telling me that there is that many micrograms physically located in his body?
Yes, integrated into his bone.
Okay, so let me just put this on a scale and ask you, 33,650 micrograms. I'm not a scientist. Is that I mean, I'm just looking at something here. Is that a cupful?
No.
Okay. And in fact, do you know the conversion to grams? How many grams that would be in his system?
0.03.
0.03365?
It'd be 33,000 times 1 e to the minus 6. So
I'm gonna trust you on that.
I don't know if I trust myself on that, but
All right. So I guess my question is 0.03 grams. So if we were to extract it all out of his body, 0.03 grams, I mean, is it as much as this right here? Is that 0.03? How much is 0.03 grams?
it doesn't seem like very much. But again, this is something, we ingest a lot of it, and maybe a lot of it's going to pass through our body. But this is stuff that's actually been incorporated into our body. And so it doesn't take all that much to cause harm. And in terms of the toxicology of this, we know, so this was actually just the bone content. If the bone content, you're not super worried about the bone content. In toxicological studies, shown that
It's
the
the
bone
brain.
is a good corollary for what is actually in the brain as well.
Yeah.
So we can use this as a determining factor. Okay, well, then his brain was exposed to this
Exactly.
for some amount of time as well. And that's more impactful.
Right. I'm just trying to figure this out. I'm trying to
That's
figure out
pretty
how
good,
much
Ben.
I mean, 0.03 grams, is that like a BB? Is that what we're talking about? That's a total amount?
No,
It
way
could
smaller than
be
that.
on the same order, yeah.
So
Probably.
something, we're talking in the entirety of his whole body, something like this.
Yes, but it's actually incorporated into his body. And again, it's 24 times higher than what anyone of his peer groups would have been exposed to.
That's kind of crazy, dude.
That's what was recorrect.
The dude was lead poisoned when he was a baby? That's crazy.
So you mentioned before
Damn.
that, I guess, the CDC, the EPA, the Department of War, to Johns Hopkins, the Medical College of South Carolina, Duke University, a bunch of places do use
Bedtime.
this portable device to detect bone lead.
Yes.
And you talked before about other experts relying on your findings. I assume those experts are relying on those findings because let's get evidence on the person.
Yes, exactly.
And we're talking about maybe, I guess, it's the size of the field even can have an effect.
Yeah, exactly.
Read, Mr. State.
Yes. One last question here. You talked about the normal test that a doctor would do would be a blood test. And you said that goes out of their system in how long?
So the half-life is about 30 days. Yeah, and they do the blood test, again, primarily because the only treatment available is acting in the blood.
Right. And so it wouldn't surprise you if Tanner Horner's medical records indicated he tested essentially negative for blood when he got tested, would it?
No, it wouldn't surprise me necessarily, depending on when that test occurred versus when he was actually exposed.
But at this level that what you're talking about here, this extreme level, this massive amount of lead according to you in his system, how is it possible that with this much lead according to you in his system, that he still tests zero?
Well, I mean, it could easily have been, tested at very different time points in his life. So if you test blood level very recently and he was exposed when he was 2 or 3, then the blood test could come back effectively 0. And again, this is effectively zero because even those blood tests aren't 100% accurate.
Cause it's only in the blood when the body's trying to get rid of it actively, right?
May this witness be finally excused.
It's only gonna be in the blood when
Thank you, sir.
your body's not always getting rid of it, apparently.
Okay, we're gonna get lunch on the way for you, okay? So, enjoy it, and we'll see you back this afternoon, okay? All right?
They shouldn't let me, just making me water sandwiches. He's still a little chunky. No, but dude, he's got fucking lead poisoning when he was a kid. Are you serious right now? I mean, if he really does have that, I don't know, dude. He actually is a little retarded.
1 o'clock, everybody.
24 times more lead than his peers in his brain. Dude, I bet he's so embarrassed today. Like, his ego is fucking hurt like a motherfucker. Because now all the cellmates and shit, all the fucking cellmates that are paying attention to this shit are all gonna know he's a little retarded now. Motherfucker's got lead in his brain. That dude's fucked in the head more than we even thought. You know what I mean? He's got fucking lead in his brain, dude. We never know what the hell this dude's thinking. Shit, dude, he's not gonna last in there very long, is he? We're gonna have to have him in a special area. Cost taxpayers even more to house him because he's gonna have to be in this special spot. Alright, I'm gonna get this over here. Hey, kitty, kitty. Say hello there. You guys want to sniff my fingers? Sweet pea, you can't do that. You're not allowed to do that. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. I know. Come here. Get back, you guys. No. No. Who's the hungry little boy? You're a hungry little boy. Pew. Good boy. No, you gotta stay. You gotta stay. Come here. You're so cute. Okay. Yeah. Sweetie. Do it. I'm getting your food, weirdo. Here, now you can see both of them. Sweetie. Come over here. No, come here. Come here. No. Sweetie. Sweetie. Okay, now. No, see, no, you're just acting too crazy. Here. Oh, are you getting fat? No, you can't. No. Son, God damn it, Simon. You can't come in here right now. Fucking shit. Come here. No, I know. You don't understand. He's got fucking medication on his ear right now. He can't come in until 10:30.
doing?
Yep, that's not much food, Sawyer. Less than Sweet Pea again. Way less than Sweet Pea. I only give him 20 more grams. I give you 85, I give him 105. Dang it. And he didn't finish his food last night. Well, so you get to stay in there, dude. Yeah. Now you get to stay in there. You're too skinny, man. You gotta eat. Come on, you gotta eat, man. Come on. Come on, eat your food. Eat your food. Peekaboo. Oh, I didn't see his friends out here.
There she is. Looks like we're driving out here. I see a mosquito flying near her. Damn it. I don't know if I got a fix out there now. Something else, there's something else. Oh, come on, bro. Oh. Oh, you. Oh. Where'd Simon go? Oh, he's probably back there in the back now. Hoping to get a glimpse of the cats back there. Let's see. There's Vanilla Face. What does that mean? Oh, yeah. It's 9:50.
take our California back convoy. Joe's driving to some shit right now.
Senate has taken the first steps in a new effort to reopen the Department of Homeland Security, voting to adopt a budget plan that would fund ICE and Border Control over Democratic objections. The vote early this morning sends the plan now to House lawmakers. The entire department has been shut down since mid-February as Democrats demanded policy changes after federal agents fatally shot 2 protesters. Republicans are now trying to fund the 2 agencies through the complicated, time-consuming process called budget reconciliation. It's a maneuver they also used to pass President Trump's package of tax and spending cuts last year with no Democratic votes.
So that's what they're doing.
Good morning, everybody. We're here for Operation Gangster's Paradise. We're going to be going to the location of one target this morning. His name is Andrew Hernandez, aka Speed. He's charged with 5 counts of distribution of fentanyl. He works in the direction of the main target in this case, Mr. Carnitas, who is the Mexican Mafia member who is running these gangs from inside the California State Prison. So our targets this morning are members and associates of La M, or the Mexican Mafia. They're a very notorious, high-ranking, violent criminal organization. Their members or leaders who operate from within state prisons most frequently. So it's a very difficult gang to get to in that regard. So the people we're arresting this morning, about 30 individuals, are associates of the Mexican Mafia, and they belong to various Hispanic street gangs. There's a lot of work that goes into this. I mean, this indictment's over 100 pages long. We haven't presented to the grand jury. We've documented all of their drug trafficking, their assaults. There's a murder that's documented in here. So all of that information is gathered. This is a joint operation with the locals. So Santa Ana PD is involved, Anaheim
Santa Ana,
the Orange
dude.
County Sheriff's Department, the California Department of Corrections,
Crazy.
we have FBI, obviously the U.S. Attorney's Office. So this
That's
is
what- dude.
complex.
I used to go up to, I was an honorary Mexican dude for a little while. I used to go up to Santa Ana with my shipmates that I was in school with in San Diego. They were gangsters too. Like I was hanging out with gangsters. And they got out of that life and joined the military, but still, like when they would go back home and party, it was the gang, you know what I mean, that we were partying with. in Santa Ana, I have all places where this is happening. That's a trip, dude. Like I didn't realize Santa Ana was so strong with the Mexican gang. I knew my history with it, and I thought that was kind of odd. It's like, and they were even like, yeah, man, and like one street over, that's a different gang, dude. And they wore baby blue, and the other gang wore like a different fucking color. Is trippy shit. Baby blue was their color, I remember.
Very complicated operation, but what makes us unique, the U.S. Department of Justice, we're the only ones that can go in one morning at 6 a.m. and clean up entire neighborhoods.
It's really interesting that the Mexican gangs just took up shop in Santa Ana, of all places. Let's see what cats are out here. Well, kind of early, actually. It's not even 10 yet. I swear, Trident will sit out there for hours waiting on just a little bit of fancy feast. Waiting on just a little bit of a fancy feast. Oh, man, baby. I just hope that she doesn't miss out on food somewhere else by doing like an actual full meal. But at the same time, she's not the skinniest cat out there. What, dude? Oh. Dang it, this trial, dude. Why's it got to be on break? It's kind of a bummer, dude, when the trials are like not on the West Coast. And like, or at least closer. But I guess I could see who, because I don't know who was there this morning. Everyone in the street. What did they have there? Talk like, was it just the lead discussion? God, dude, he's never gonna like seeing him. I just watched him walking into court and shit, and how he just acts like stoic almost, like nods to people, like man, he's confident, self-confident and shit. Bro, you should be walking into the fucking court with your head down. You know what I mean? You should be walking into the court looking like a fucking punk bitch that you are. Like after I've heard what he did on that video to her, like, dude. She kept going up here. The most brutal part of the video for me was apparently the newscasters could hear her keep saying, ouch, ouch, why are you doing, like, what are you doing? Why? Something like that. And it's just like, I don't even know. Oh, no, dude. Fuck. That plays in my mind every time I see this dude. I just think of her going, ouch, ouch, what are you doing? What is, like, I'm just imagining what the fuck was really going on for that hour, dude. He's so gonna get fucked up in prison, man. The fact that it was on video, you know what I'm saying? Like most of these predator motherfuckers don't have their act videoed and then played in court for the jury, you know? Like it's usually like he did this. They said he did it. There was swabs and shit, DNA. And motherfucker had a video. What? How stupid can you be, dude? He really thought that just covering up the fucking video, the camera part, that he really thought that audio wasn't gonna just crucify him later on. Holy shit, an idiot! He's so stupid. The lead, so much lead in his brain. Well, why can't I hear anything? They not let us hear them beforehand, maybe? They showed a lot of them this morning. They showed a lot of them. They got a yoked up as big ass, like, they got 3 deputies near him, dude. One of them massive. He probably wants to strangle him. Like, I don't even have kids. I can. If you have kids, you probably really want this dude hurt.
Brothers?
Who is this lady?
Do you have any other siblings?
Yes, I do. I do have 2 sisters along with the brother.
Okay.
I mean, really, all his fucking relatives sound like they're fucking mentally challenged. I think they were all eating lead chips.
And who raised you and your siblings?
All the family members are.
Who raised you and your siblings?
My mother and my stepdad, but the
Libertaded.
3 other siblings were mainly raised with their paternal grandmother.
You
for a
hear it
while.
too? You hear the retardation, right?
We went with my stepdad.
She's got like a little kid list.
And why were they with your maternal?
With their paternal.
Sure.
My mother was
My
an
mother-
alcoholic, and she just didn't
My
want them.
mother was an alcoholic. She sounds like a toddler talking, dude. What the?
The only thing I can
It's
think
like,
of.
his family's like the Whitakers or something, bro, but pedo version.
And when did your siblings end up leaving home?
My oldest sister left at 16.
Dude, he
My
sounds.
mother left at
Dude, she fucking sounds like the Predator Poacher's decoy chick that tries to sound like a little kid, but she's actually like 20 years old or something. She puts a bunch of extra kitty sounds on her. That's what she sounds like. What you want to do? I can't even do it, dude. She's so good at it.
13, and my other sister left at 15.
Damn. Dude, wait, what?
Tell me about your brother,
They-
Terry Morris.
They left home at 13 and
Tell me about Terry,
15.
yeah.
Terry left home at 13, and he
So Terry's his
was
dad.
doing drugs at that time. He has spent about 90% of his adult life in prison. He molested me when I was younger.
God damn.
He threatened to kill
See?
me 3 different times, and
It just
he
runs
was not a very nice person.
in the family.
He beat my mother and stole money from her as well.
Did he ever steal from other family members?
Yes, from what I understand, he's stolen from both of my sisters. My ex-father-in-law was nice enough to give him a job, and he repaid him by coming back into the building that night and stealing all of the money and weapons that was in the building.
As an adult, did Terry ever live on your mother's property?
Yes, he did. We thought he had finally straightened his life out, and Mom gave him the Airstream that was on the property so that she could maintain her independence and he could maintain his.
And when you saw it, what were his living conditions like?
It was horrible. He had, a lot of drug users, especially Terry. Whenever they would get high, they would take stuff apart like coffee makers and microwaves and whatever else they could and couldn't put it back together.
Holy shit.
When Mom passed, I hired someone to clean up the
Wait a
backyard
second.
because he had left it. Stuff was everywhere.
But was the shit actually broken? It was broken, right? They weren't just taking it apart to take it apart, right? Like, they were like, hey man, we're not making any coffee right now. Do you want to take apart the coffee maker and clean it really good? Like, yeah man, some fucking dirt in the cracks been bothering me a little bit. I'll get the screwdriver, man. You get the Q-tips. All right. I'll get the coffee maker. Let's do it. Or are they like finding broken shit on the side of the road and like just taking it apart and leaving it in pieces? Like in the backyard.
And they found buckets, 5-gallon buckets of poop.
Oh, what?
Because Terry wouldn't come in the house and use the bathroom.
Oh, hell no. How many?
Now, I know what an Airstream is, but can you tell?
Oh, I'm sorry. Airstream RV is a
5-gallon
bumper
buckets.
pull trailer.
And did Terry ever adult live on your sister's property?
Yes, he lived on my oldest sister's property, and he lived in the garage, and then eventually he got a small bumper pull, and it was a gorgeous house. Back
God, this
in the
band is
backyard.
crazy.
There was so much.
I can see why they blur everybody, dude, because all of them are fucking embarrassed as shit. Like, goddamn, I thought my upbringing was crazy a little bit, but that doesn't. I didn't have any family members living in someone's backyard, and my entire family that I know of, anywhere states, any other states or anywhere, where when they had somebody living in a trailer in the back, pooping in 5-gallon buckets and tweaking every day and taking apart fucking shit and leaving it strewn all over the yard and shit. That never happened in my family. I don't know one relative that dropped off that fucking heavy. They had multiple relatives doing that type of shit. What is going on?
Air conditioner cars, boats, you name it, it was back there. He would just bring stuff home.
Oh, so it was shit that they would find.
What did your brother do for a living?
Steel. He could weld,
Oh, you'd find
but,
it.
sorry, I'm bluntly honest here. He could weld, darn good welder, but because he was into drugs, he couldn't keep a job, so he would just steal whatever.
Now, do you have other family members that have
Dude, back in the, that's funny she says that, dude. Back in the early 2000s, I worked in a couple metal shops actually. A lot of welders are either I remember one of them was smoking. I think a lot of welders used to be tweakers, dude, actually back in the day. Like truckers used to get away with it, so did people that worked at metal shops. But then the OSHA started cracking down heavily because people were getting hurt at work and shit. So like all these companies had to start drug testing for insurance to keep their insurance. Otherwise, I mean, you don't have insurance and that's pretty fucked. So, yeah, I think a lot of those dudes that were like used to being able to do that type shit, once they started cracking down, yeah, it fucked their life up, dude. They were used to just being able to get high off meth every day, and I think it was more probably in the before Dare, probably before Nancy Reagan. It was. I had a lot to do with it too. Just say no and all that shit. The war on drugs. I mean, hell, even the Navy, dude. Back in the 80s, people could smoke weed on board ship while they were underway on the back and Nobody really say anything.
Prescription drugs. My mother was a prescription drug. Tanner, from what I understand, was or is. We've got other.
Like, I really think that a lot of tweakers could probably hold a job down, like functional tweakers. I bet there were a lot of functional tweakers back in the day that just did it kind of like how people did it in the military for like fighter pilot type shit. A trucker would do it just so that he could drive further, and they would do it. They would semi-responsibly. But they cracked down on all that, right? I don't know. Do they? If you're a owner operator trucker, you don't have to get drug tested, do you? It's not like the DMV's gonna drug test you with.
From my oldest sister, two of the nephews, one of the nieces were substance abuse users.
Can you tell me about your mother?
Mom got married, I believe at 16 the first time. She had 2 children. By her first husband. And she got a divorce, and the 3 children, she dropped them off at Edna Gladney Adoption. Didn't tell anybody she did that. And she married my dad. They were together
Oh, wow.
18 months. I think I was a boost.
Wow.
And she was a barmaid most of her life. And she worked dry cleaning. And she was an alcoholic. I was born early. Looking back, I'm pretty sure a lot of my problems are due to her being an alcoholic. Whenever she married her 3rd husband, the 3 children that she dropped off at Edna Gladney, their paternal grandmother found out about them, went and picked them up, and she raised them for a while in Pentecostal church. Their dads were church Jews, from what I understand.
Dude, this is some crazy
And
shit.
she brought them all back. And
Was your mother ever abusive towards children, you siblings?
she was emotionally and verbally abusive to all 4 of us. If the 4 of us was getting along as adults, she had to pit one against the other. And there would be so much drama. I eventually, whenever my mother passed, I cut ties with all of them. I don't do drugs. I have an occasional drink. I can't stand drama. It will.
Did your mother suffer from mental illness?
Yes, she did. She was
So she's only
bipolar.
she's the only
She
normal
was-
person
she
in
had
the family.
severe anxiety. She had depression, and doing the alcohol and mixing all of her prescription with all of that was not really a good thing.
What about other members of the Warner family? Are you aware of any mental illness?
I'm not entirely sure. My oldest sister, I do believe she had some because of the way that she would do the prescription drugs. She wouldn't take her heart medicine or her diabetes medicine. Well, she liked that Xanax. She would melt it in a spoon of water and take it that way.
Take it what way?
What about,
Melt it in a spoon of water.
were you around then?
Oh, she did
I
it like
was
that.
around. I didn't see
Does she
them
shoot 'em?
much.
Did she fucking shoot it?
I think I saw them together maybe
Yo.
5 times. I saw Tanner probably 3 times in his life.
So,
And what was Terry like around that?
Stoned all the time. Him and Melissa both were always stoned. So, the house was horrible. There was trash everywhere. Seems like wherever Terry went, he had to bring a bunch of junk, a bunch of trash. I don't know how.
Do you know how we met?
Terry met Melissa in a strip joint, from what I understand.
And do you know where they were working at that time? Terry working at that?
I honestly don't know.
dude, what? Is there a way to get this fucking
And you
shit off?
said you were around, or 3 or 4 times. So that when you was young,
Yeah.
and who raised Tanner?
His maternal grandmother did.
The lead paint raised him.
I did twice.
Okay, do you remember about what age that was?
He was a baby the first time, and he was about 5, maybe 6 the second time.
Can you describe what it was like at those ages?
He cried a lot. It was like nothing you could do could stop. You could change his diaper, you could hold him, you could put him to sleep. At 5, it was like he wore his heart on his sleeve. And saying that, you could go, don't do that, and he would just cry. And he went to run out to the street, and I grabbed him and I swatted him on his butt like that, and you would have thought I beat the tar out of him. He was crying and hiccuping, and we were at my ex-mother-in-law, and he looked at her and she made me cry. He just kept crying. I didn't know what to do with him because my children weren't like that. And I felt bad because I couldn't get him to stop crying.
And did you get, so you're saying you cried a lot?
Poor baby.
compared to other children.
Yeah.
Baby
What
crier.
about talking? Did you talk a lot?
No.
Poor little baby
Have you seen him
crier.
as an adult?
I seen him one time, my brother said, hey, Tim, this is Tanner. And I was like, I wouldn't recognize him if I saw him on the street. That's how often we saw each other. But I mean, that was the whole conversation.
Oh, I gotta look out there.
Stop by your house or your brother's house or something?
Yes, he had a camper at my mother's house, and I thought it was another item that my brother drug up. And Mom wanted all this stuff cleaned out of the backyard. She wanted that camper gone. My brother said that it was only going to be there for a week. They'd been there for like, I don't know how long, 4 or 5 months. I don't know. I didn't know it was Tanner's. So I was acting on my mom's behalf, and I
Nobody else is out there but Frank, man.
on the phone, come and pull this camper out, and I had it hauled out. I told the guy, I don't want any money. Mom wants it gone, just make it go.
Tanner, kind of a typical Mortar man or kind of different?
Like I said, I couldn't tell you. I wasn't around that much.
I'm going to show you a couple pictures here, and I don't need you to use the names. If you just tell me who these are, like in relation to you.
Picture of my brother and my 2 sisters, and my
Have you shown it to the state?
Yes.
So you offer state, Defense 66?
66, you're right.
Okay, any objection?
Judge, if he wants to admit 77 as well, no objection to that.
Yes, please.
You move to admit 67?
I will, sir, as soon as she identifies that. She recognizes the people now.
Yeah, it's Tanner and, my brother with a woman who has another child by him. And
Defense 66 and 67 are admitted.
Your Honor, I will move to publish these and then I will pass them.
Okay.
See what we got here. Oh, that's no good.
Cross-examination?
Ooh.
Yes, come on. Yes, please.
Okay, let's go, baby.
Just make sure you stand so that the jury can see.
My name is James Stain. I don't think you and I have met before, have we? Can you hear me?
yes,
Do you have are you able to hear low tone?
just long as I think I'm gonna love it.
Okay. I'll make sure. Okay. I don't have too many questions for you.
Okay.
You don't understand something, you don't hear something. And, I'm looking at this, talking about, area. Okay, I can see why. The second part of this, you said he went to prison for a long time.
Yeah, now.
And that was,
It was for theft, drugs. I believe his first crime, he was out on, probation, I get that mixed up, and he beat her up and went back to prison.
Lovely
I didn't
family.
hear you say he had any sexual type offenses, just drugs.
Anyway, that's the thing.
Right.
Yeah,
But other than
that he did not go to jail for that, no. Understandable.
And the second thing is, you said that the extent of your knowledge of the defendant came from the 3 times you saw him in his life, is that
Yes,
right?
sir.
And once when he was a baby,
Yep.
when he was 5,
So 3 times.
and a tiny brief conversation when he was how
Grown.
old?
I don't know how old he was, I'll be honest. He was grown.
And that's the extent of your knowledge on the
Yes,
now, ma'am, let me just ask you, I'm not trying to be rude. Are you a felon?
am I what?
Are you a felon?
Yeah, I'm sorry, no,
And I think you said you don't do drugs.
no, sir, I do not.
Okay. Well, I noticed the things asked you a lot about your family.
Yes, sir.
And in your family history, it sounds like you had a pretty rough upbringing. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And I'm not going to ask you any details of that whatsoever. Okay.
I'm an open book.
Appreciate that, but I'm still not going to ask you.
Okay.
engage some form of inappropriate activity at the hands of your brother.
Yes, sir.
Being around your brother doing drugs.
Yes, sir.
Apparently being around your mom when you're doing all this stuff as well.
Yes, sir.
But in your life, you don't do drugs.
No, sir.
And you never killed anybody, have you?
No, sir.
And you never sexually assaulted or molested anybody, have you?
No, sir.
That's it.
Read the record.
That's pretty good. It didn't make her crazy.
May this witness be excused subject to any potential recall?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am.
It didn't make her crazy or do drugs. Huh?
Who do you have next? Yeah.
Who's this lady?
We are not going to refer to you by your first and last name, and just for your comfort, we have made sure that your face has been blurred out by the cameras, okay? Thank you. Ms. Sullivan, how do you know Tanner Horner?
He is my second cousin.
Oh, since the woman from earlier.
How does that work? He
My
don't follow the family tree.
father.
Man, they need to hurry and come back.
A high-tech international car theft ring just got busted in D.C. with the vehicle shipped overseas. Here's the scary part. Investigators say thieves could steal a car in under a minute using a high-tech device. Joining us now, the woman that unwound the whole thing, Janine Pirro, U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, great friend of the show. Judge, how did you do it? And tell us what they're up to now. They're not smashing windows anymore.
No, you know what? They don't need keys and they don't need hot wiring. Yeah. There's no drama. And they've got something called an autel, which, by the way, needs to be regulated by the industry. That is a very simple device that literally rewrites the brain of the vehicle. So in the dark of night, these guys in Pennsylvania, Maryland, Washington, D.C., they use this autel, they rewrite the brain of the vehicle.
I bet it's only cars with auto start.
To a cooling off zone in one place in the Marriott in Pennsylvania, and in another place in the Navy Yard in D.C., where they change the VIN, they change they strip the VIN, and they change the license plate. And then they transport them to ports in Savannah, Georgia, and these cars are then transported to Africa, and they put them in these cargo holders where they label the holder furniture so that it doesn't get the scrutiny that it would normally get if it were
gone in
labeled
60
vehicles.
seconds type shit.
They steal Camaros and Chevys and Honda. By the way, Honda is the most popular stolen car in the United States. So in less than 60 seconds, the car is gone and on its way to Africa.
So
this is actually the movie
I always
happening.
thought, how do they get them on the barge without asking questions? And you're saying they don't look in the containers.
They don't look in the containers. My understanding is that, and by the way, we've got another 100 cars that we're on to right now, that this has been going on for a while. And look, these are old crimes being committed in new ways. You know, there's no drama with this. Bang, less than 60 seconds, the car is gone. It's cooled off. transported, and then shipped to Africa. No one is looking in the containers, and they're making a fortune. So I think that people need to understand that their vehicles, they have to make sure that, you know, they are in a place where at least they're alerted if something is stolen.
Yeah, at least have a shot at getting it, because it seems like you guys unwound it. We still have to learn how to stop it. Now let's talk about something else.
We
Okay.
will.
I know, it's pretty amazing what you've already done. So now let's talk about something that's happened in a lot of cities, especially yours. Over in D.C., these juveniles just will take over a town, take over a square, take over a block. And you said, hey, we need a curfew for these kids. If parents aren't going to crack down, give law enforcement the power to crack down. Where are we at with a permanent juvenile curfew?
The problem is, Brian, that there has been a curfew. It has to be reinstated, but the D.C. Council, which has been missing in action,
We
as
had a
it relates to
curfew growing
crime,
up
especially
when I was a
juvenile
kid.
crime in the district, is refusing to act. They just keep moving things forward. Mayor Bowser and I have been arguing that it's time to have the ability to have these discretionary curfews, because what happens, Brian, is these teens go on social media and they'll say meet up in 2 hours where we don't know about it, and the curfew
It's the
is
social media
maybe
thing,
11
man.
midnight
Again.
to 6, and the police need to be able to go there and stop these curfews. So let me tell you what's got to happen here. What's got to happen is we've got to start getting the parents involved in this. Parents are responsible for their kids. The government is not. There is robbery and assaults and all kinds of crimes being committed, and parents need to understand that even if your kid wants to go to one of these teen takeovers or meetings or social events, that they can become the victim of a crime. My focus right now,
Well,
and
the
my
parents don't
thought
care
is
if their kid
that you
dies.
start going after these parents in juvenile court. So when you arrest these kids and it's part of a teen takeover and it goes to the juvenile court, you bring the parents in, you sanction them, you make them a part of a parental counseling program. I was a family
Yeah,
judge for a
it's a good
minute,
idea.
and I know that you've got
Make
persons in need of
the
supervision.
parents
You can
hurt
mandate the
from
parents
it
be a part of
also,
it.
yeah.
And that is the
That's a
piece
very
that
good
is
idea.
missing. The Mayor
That's a good point,
Bowser
man.
has done a great job
You know what I mean?
in D.C.
If all you're doing is making the juvenile come in and do it, like, I mean, it hurt, the parents don't care as much. You got to make them miss work. You got to make them have to go to some bullshit class to teach them how to better be like a parent and shit. And then they might be like, you know what, you got to knock it the fuck off, man. You got me missing work and shit for these stupid classes, boy. You knock it off. Get your ass over here. You know what I mean? For real. Man, the parents aren't hurting enough from this shit. And neither are the kids, apparently, because they know they're gonna be just, everything's gonna be deleted when they turn 18 and they get to start all over again.
And we have worked together since I got here, as doing everything she can. But the D.C. Council, I mean, they'll take a break while the kids are on vacation. We know what's going to happen. We know how it's going to happen.
Hey, Ted,
And
Nova.
parents need to be
Welcome
involved.
back.
It's their job.
I didn't see Nova was here.
And you know what? That's a great idea.
Where have
And
I
think
been? I
Chicago
didn't
and
see-
New York,
I didn't
that's
see
a
that
huge
or-
problem like that too.
Comment.
Judge, thanks so much. Always great to see you.
Always great to see you, too.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox 1.
You see this convoy Joe's going? What the heck is that all about? Boom. Boom, 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 boom.
There's that old adage about laughing at a funeral. You know, you should.
Oh, I gotta go. I accidentally clicked on that. While walking a dog in Memphis in early March, a person found what appeared to be a skull near a wooded area. A shocking discovery that has since led to the recovery was believed to be the remains of 3 young children. Wait. Authorities are now working on who are estimated between the ages of 3 and 7. The circumstances surrounding their deaths, the remains are believed to have been there a few years. Oh my god. Whoa, man, this is actually kind of scary. Fuck. Wow. 3 kids. Wow. I wonder if they figured out who they are yet. Sorry. Dude, kombucha makes me super burpy. Well, it's onions too. Who got the peppers? Who got the peppers? Who got peppers? Oh, dude, that weed tastes really fucking strange now. With onion on my tongue. Ah, that's interesting. Oh, man, that's really interesting. I'm not a fan of onions and weed. That's better. And because those onions that I'm using are super sweet and low onion flavor. They don't have a super strong onion. They seem to make my nose run still. Either that or the vape pen did. Probably the vape pen. Yeah. So this is about 50 grams. I'm really supposed to only be giving him 40. Okay. And what's the water cup? Water cup, water cup, oh, the water cup, water cup, oh. It's actually a bowl though, so but alright. Still just it, so I'm gonna make one more bowl for Trident. Enjoyable. Enjoyable. Yeah. I gotta do this now. Oh, baby. Yeah. See, I don't know. I always feel like I'm giving her too little. Ay, ay, ay. She stays around all that time just for this little 30 something grams, man. I had to get that out. Oh, this one doesn't go. This one doesn't go with me. You stay here. I keep checking, dude, thinking that Fluffy will be out there, but hey, sweet pea. Sweet pea, my little baby. Do this. We're gonna do this. You're gonna be able to make one tap. Yeah, that's one. You walk her, or you want to eat first? You want to have a bite to eat first? Well, I'll let you do that.
wish. He didn't. Anytime.
I'm off to see the wizard. gave Frank a really good petting. But now Shiloh's there too, so I think maybe another bowl. Sure, Shiloh. But Shiloh, this is our Shiloh. Alright, now I make another bowl for my baby go shine. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I make another bowl for my baby go shine. Oh, shakalaka, baby. Now I'm just gonna put some water in, and it's time to feed the outdoor kitties. Like a mouse. Boom, back, boom. This one's for Shiloh. It's got more, and it's got kids' food. Oh, baby. Sweetie, wait, you can't see you, sweetie. We need to be able to see you, okay? I'm gonna turn you around here. Okay, there. Are you gonna stay there? You're not gonna stay there, are you? All right. supposed to left stuff on the bowls. Whoa. See? Trident left less, but I see they're not starving, or all that would be gone. Because they're more nervous coming from across the street. Because they definitely act more nervous, but not more nervous than Penelope. And she finishes her plate more than anybody else when she shows up. She didn't show up today. Just Frank, Shiloh, and Trident. Simon, what's Simon? I wonder if they came back up here after all. Huh. Wish Shiloh did, but she's still nervous to hang out up here. Trident's in the front yard underneath the sugar cane and next to the succulent. In the grass and the leaves. Trident hangs out here a lot. I'm talking about hours every day. She goes somewhere else at night though. But I have seen her out there at night before on my front porch. But it was right after I had gotten out. I had just gotten home, so she might have thought that I was going to come give her some food.
Hey baby, you're so sweet.
Simon having a little food. See, it worked. Having it ready for him when I opened up. I got a little bit more.
Individuals
They're
there.
back. Hold up, they're back at the court. How long have they been back? Why is everything blurry? They just got back. Right? Yeah, they just got back. Like 5 minutes ago. They started talking.
You saw it in Texas.
Fuck, why is the audio so different?
No.
Your role today is to give some historical background information.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Weeks, you said that you were living in Texas at one point. When were you living in Texas?
From approximately, I lived there for about 25 years. So that was approximately 1982 until about 2004. In Texas, my license is a licensed professional counselor. I'm licensed in Texas now. In Ohio, A licensed professional clinical counselor is somebody who is licensed by the state to provide therapeutic services to people.
When you were living in Texas, did you have the opportunity to work at a place called First Choice?
Yes.
Please tell the jury what First Choice is.
First Choice was located, I don't think they're there anymore, on East Hensel Street in Fort Worth, Texas, near downtown. There, we provided services to families affected primarily by drug and alcohol abuse. Commonly, dual diagnosis was present, meaning there was both drug use of some sort as well as mental health disorders such as maybe depression. Our program specifically was residential, and families were there, so it was common for the women, I can't remember there ever being any men that were the primary clients there, would be there with their children.
How did you get involved with First Choice?
After a therapist is licensed, or in this case I wasn't yet licensed, they have internships in which they work, and they can add to their classroom knowledge with clinical real-world experience working in a facility like this.
When were you with First Choice?
The early part of 1999, approximately February to August of 1999.
And Mr. Weeks, I wanted to ask you a little bit about the intake process at First Choice. Do you recall what kind of information was obtained from the clients when they entered First Choice?
I don't have any knowledge of that directly from working there. The work I did was as a therapist, usually working just with the children, well, I guess also with the parents as well. I didn't do intakes. That's typically done by somebody else.
What type of information would be normally taken during the intake process that you would rely upon in order to provide your treatment and develop a treatment plan?
There's a history taken when an intake is completed. We're going to ask for any drug history, difficulty with law, if there's any law involvement, if a person has any previous diagnoses, if they have any other non-mental health issues, such as they have a medical diagnosis. There'll be information taken about their education, their finances. It's really meant to be quite comprehensive. So the intake is meant to gather a lot of that information to bring the clinician up to speed regarding the individual. The background information is critical, and that can help to inform the treatment that's needed. For example, I'm at First Choice because we primarily worked with individuals that are struggling with addiction issues. If somebody doesn't have any addiction issues, then they might not be an appropriate referral for our facility.
And Ms. Weeks, as a licensed counselor, how do you create a treatment plan for a client?
We identify the primary diagnoses, then work with the client to identify what are the areas in which they want to address. So if they're particularly interested in addressing some issues, then we'll center the treatment plan there. But we may also, at a treatment facility like this, expand out to other areas to help with employment, for example. If they need assistance with finances, social workers or case managers will work on that. Whereas the clinician will probably work on mental health issues.
Now, you talked about dual diagnoses. How common is it for one of the clients at First Choice to have a dual diagnosis?
So I don't remember. I worked there 26 years or so ago, but it would be shocking if individuals there, our clients at that time, didn't have also a mental health issue in their background. It's ubiquitous.
What about trauma?
Almost always. There's trauma with individuals that have addiction issues. But but I don't have a specific recollection of clients I worked with there. I don't have those records anymore. Yeah, trauma may manifest later on in somebody. It's like maybe the.
Oh, I'm sorry. You mentioned that they had a residential facility. Were patients or your clients allowed to bring their children?
They were.
How was that accommodated at the facility?
You know, as I'm thinking back, trying to remember, it seemed like there were small apartments, maybe even rooms. Apartments might be, you know, like small hotel suites, so to speak, that were there, and there would be, maybe we'd have 10 or 20 families there at a time. And then we had the main building in which we did some of the groups and other therapeutic services.
You said that these residents would be allowed to bring their families and their children. Did First Choice also provide services to the children of their residents?
Yes, that's primarily the work that I did. Services like play therapy, for example, or stress management could help the client, the child, I should say, in this to be more specific, to maybe work through some issues that they encountered with the mother when they weren't in the facility. Being able to work out some of these issues may help them to manage conflict better, to have success in school better, to rebuild a relationship that, if it was damaged, it would help them to have the skills to be able to repair those relationships.
You mentioned like is
Can't hear them.
you're trying to get into what he did at this facility. It's not offering an opinion. He is testifying as to what.
Audio levels aren't the same.
So we are not asking him to give any opinions. What we're asking him to do is to testify as to this facility, what they did. We're getting there. So, explain again, please, what play therapy is.
Play therapy is the use of toys to help a child to express what may be difficult to verbalize. Art therapy is in some ways related to it. I'm not training in that, but we want to creatively provide opportunities for youth to be able to express things even though they may not have a narrative.
Mm-hmm.
Do you recall, and I know it's been 26 years ago, but do you recall the family consisting of Mr. Moore and his mother?
Yes.
How do you recall them? It's been 26 years. Was there something special about them that made you remember?
No, I recalled the name just vaguely when you first approached me. I think it was Yona. But when I was first approached to provide support here. But then when a picture was showed to me, I clearly remembered, yes, that's Melissa and that's Tanner. Well, I didn't recognize Tanner at all. I knew him, maybe he was 6, 8, I'm not sure his age at that time. But I remembered the mother.
Hmm.
Nothing unique. I found their experience, their presentation very similar to the other families that were there. Women coming in who had difficulty with drugs, and their family was affected by it.
You said that you had remembered Melissa immediately upon seeing her. What was it about her that you remembered?
Her mouth.
I just remembered her face. When I saw it, I
You don't want to say
recognized
it. Her meth mouth.
nothing else really jumps out.
In order for Melissa to be involved in this program, she would have had to have had a drug problem.
I assume so. We didn't provide any other services. That was the primary function. There is an emphasis in first choice on 12-step work.
I love them steps, don't you?
At first choice, did she seem to be motivated to work through the program and do better?
And I can't really recall anything specifically about her motivation level. My primary work was in play therapy with him. I assume, although I don't recall a specific session, that I would have just minimal contact with her.
Ms. Weeks, let's talk about your work with Tamara. You said that when you looked at the photo, you remembered the mother, but you didn't remember your son, just by looking at the photo. But after reviewing the records and whatnot, were you able to confirm that you did work with Tamara?
I don't have those records anymore, and I'm sure I did. I assume I did, but it's a good question. I can't say for certain that I provided services to them.
Bruh.
I don't recall that specifically. It's very common, and I do assume that I did work with them, although I just want to be really upfront. I can't for sure say that I had services with them. I could have just seen them in the facility.
This
but
is ridiculous.
It's not likely. I probably did work with them.
We probably worked with them. He at least saw them in the hallway. So he's definitely a reputable witness as to whether or not this guy should be put to death.
You guys with
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Stain?
I want to make sure this works. Mr. Weeks, can you hear me here?
Yes.
Mr. Weeks, this place where you work, it seems to me that you really don't have any real recollection other than remembering Melissa's face about what you did or didn't do with them in this case. Is that correct?
What?
I have, generally, yes.
What the fuck, bro?
The services we provided there,
Moron.
but specifics with his family, no, I don't have specific memories.
Stupid.
Ms. Anderson, redirect.
Just one question, Your Honor. Mr. Weeks, in order to be admitted to first choice with her son, would Melissa have had to have
Almost certainly. I didn't do the intake, but it's just not what we do. We treat people specifically with drug problems at that facility.
Thank you.
Mr. Tate, may the witness be excused?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Weeks, thank you very much. We appreciate you taking your time.
Okay, this is fine. Yes.
These rooms. Okay, we can recess while I look at these rooms.
You're looking at records. Guys, do you think I kicked ass right there? Does this guy know what he had for breakfast? Do you know what he had for breakfast? Because if you do, you need to, you know what I mean? Come clean. What did he have? What guy are we talking about? The guy on stand or the guy that's up on charges? A lot of guys out there. I'm leaving now though, y'all. Y'all have a good day. Maybe I'll see you later. It's time for me to move on with my morning. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. If I don't see you ever again, have a great rest of your life. Later, Ted. Later, Miss Buncombe. Later, everybody in the whole world. Later, everybody in the whole world.